Bhagavatam 1 to 6, chapter 16, verse number 11. Nadata Atma Hi Gunam Na Dosham Na Palam Udashinavat Ashina Parabara Drik Vishwara Nadata Atma Hi Gunam Na Dosham Na Kriya Palam Udashinavat Ashinaha Paravara Drikishwaraha. You can chant. Anyone can chant.
Narata Atma
Nadosham Kriya Palam Udashina Vadashina Paravara Drikishwaraha. Nadatam Gunam Nadoshanam Kriya Palam Udashina Asina Paravara Drikishwaraha. Taraka Prabhu, you can.
Narata Atma Gunam
Adata Atma Gunam
Nadosham Na Kriya Palam
Nadoshana Kriya Palam
Udasinavad Asina
Udashina Vadashina
Parabara Drigishwaraha
Paravara Drikishwaraha.
Nadata Atma Gunam
Adata Atma Gunam
Nadosham na Kriya Phalam
Nadoshana Kriya Palam
Udasina Vad Asinaha
Udashina Vadashina
Paravara Dragishwara.
Paravara Drikishwaraha. Anyone else? Word-to-word translation. Na, not. Adate, insects. Atma, the Supreme Lord. He, indeed. Gunam, happiness. Na, not. Dosham, unhappiness. Na, no. Kriyapalam, the results of any fruitive activities. Udashinavat, exactly like the neutral man. Ashinaha, sitting in the core of the heart. Ara Avaradrik, seeing the cause and effect. Ishwaraha, the Supreme Lord. Translation and purport by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. The Supreme Lord, Atma, the creator of cause and effects, does not accept the happiness and distress that results from fruitive actions. He is completely independent of having to accept a material body, and because he has no material body, he is always neutral. The living entities, being part and parcel of the Lord, possess his qualities in a minute quantity. Therefore, one should not be affected by lamentation. Repeat responsibly. The Supreme Lord, Atma, the creator of cause and effect, does not accept the happiness and distress that result from fruitive actions. He is completely independent of having to accept material body. And because he has no material body, he is always neutral. The living entities, being part and parcel of the Lord, possess his qualities in a minute quantity. Therefore, one should not be affected by lamentation. Report. The conditioned soul has friends and enemies. He is affected by the good qualities and the faults of his position. The Supreme Lord, however, is always transcendental. Because he is the Ishwara, the Supreme Controller, he is not affected by duality. It may therefore be said that he sits in the core of everyone's heart as the neutral witness of the causes and effects of one's activities, good and bad. We should also understand that Udashina, neutral, does not mean that he takes no action. Rather, it means that he is not personally affected. For example, a court judge is neutral when two opposing parties appear before him, but he still takes action as the case warrants. To become completely neutral, indifferent to material activities, we should simply seek shelter at the lotus feet of the supreme neutral person. Maharaj Chitraketu was advised that remaining neutral in such trying circumstances as the death of one's son is impossible. Nevertheless, since the Lord knows how to adjust everything, the best course is to depend upon him and do one's duty in devotional service to the Lord. In all circumstances, one should be undisturbed by duality, as stated in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 47. Kamani iwadi karaste, ma palishu kadachana, makama palam hetu bo, mate sangos tu akamani. You have a right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to the fruits of action. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, and never be attached to not doing your duty. One should execute one's devotional duty, and for the results of one's actions, one should depend upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Agena Timiranda Shya Gyana Jana Salakaya Chakshu Omritam Yena Tasma Shri Gurave Namaha. Vichaitanya Manovistam Stapita Minabhutale Swarumpal Kadamayan Tadati Swapadanti Kam. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagapate Gopisha Gopika Kantarada Kantanamostite. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prithaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Teta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitatmani Shri Gora Karuna Shakti Bhakti Teta Namini. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prithaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvashesha Srinyavari Pashatyari Satarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gauravatavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nadata Atma Hi Gunam Nadasham Na Kriya Phalam Udashinava Dasinaha Paravara Drek Ishwaraha. The Supreme Lord Atma, the creator of cause and effects, does not accept the happiness and distress that result from fruitive action. He is completely independent of having to accept a material body, and because he has no material body, he is always neutral. The living entity, being part and parcel of the Lord, possesses his qualities in a minute quantity. Therefore, one should not be affected by lamentation. Hare Krishna. So, thank you all for being here. And today's test, like we are being told in today's test, we are being told the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. And we are also being told about how we as individual Jiva souls, we are somehow or the other qualitatively as good as the Lord, but we are nowhere near him quantitatively. And it is usually compared with one going to the seashore. If you go to the seashore and you take a cup of seawater, the cup of seawater is qualitatively as good as the whole sea, as the entire sea. That's all the qualities of the sea. If you take it to the laboratory and you test it, and if you go to the seashore and you test the water, you get the same results, qualitatively as good as it is. But when it comes to power, when it comes to quantity, the cup of seawater is nowhere near the entire sea, because a lot of things can happen in the entire sea. Ships and boats can cruise on the sea, but they cannot cruise on the cup of seawater. Whales, big fishes, can comfortably live in the sea, but they cannot live in the cup of seawater. So in other words, you see, there is a vast difference, even though qualitatively the cup of seawater and the entire sea are equal somehow or the other. But there is a vast difference between the big sea and the cup of seawater. And for the seawater to be able to function like the entire sea, then the best way to do that is to pour the cup of seawater back into the sea. Then this cup of seawater can act exactly like the full sea. In other words, when we do everything by doing it, it's a service to the Lord. That is like pouring ourselves the cup of seawater back into the big sea. And so the Lord will act through us. That is the simplest way to actually experience your true nature as being a spirit soul. Other than that, nothing. We are prone to be covered by Maya, the external energy of the Lord. But the Lord can never be covered by his own external energy. And that's why we don't have to pride ourselves. No matter what we do in our devotional life, we should never pride ourselves, because we are prone to be covered by the external energy. And so we should completely live on the mercy of the Lord and his pure devotees. That is the only way that we can survive. Never think that you are properly situated. Immediately you think like that, then there's a problem. So we can understand this by two examples in the life of Narada Muni. Once Narada Muni visited Lord Vishnu and asked Lord Vishnu, "Who is your greatest devotee?" And Lord Vishnu said, there is a farmer, some small farmer in the land of India. He is my greatest devotee. Narada Muni was like, "What? I chant your name everywhere I go. There's never a single time that I don't chant your name. So how come this simple man on earth is not even in heaven? Simple man on earth. How come he is your greatest devotee?" What? I don't understand this. And Krishna said, "Hello?" And Krishna said, "No problem. We can take a trip." So Lord Vishnu and Narada Muni took a trip to the Earth planet. But before he brought Narada Muni to the Earth planet, he said, "Okay, Narada Muni, can you do some little service for me?" When Krishna asked him, Narada Muni, to do that service, Narada Muni was not like very enthusiastic, because he didn't hear the right, what he wanted to hear from Krishna, that he is the greatest devotee. So he said, "Sure, my Lord, anything for you." And Krishna gave Narada Muni a pot of oil filled to the brim. And he said, "Narada, as you are a transcendental traveler on this earth, can you hold this pot and go around the earth once and come back to me?" Narada said, no problem. So Narada held the pot of oil, but Krishna said, make sure you don't drop one single oil, not even one single drop. Narada says, sure. So Narada took the oil and gradually was going around the earth planet. Finally, he went around and came back. And he was so proud. He said, sure, Lord, I've done the job. I didn't spill anything. And Krishna said, wonderful. That is what I want to know. You didn't spill anything. But whilst you were going around, did you perchance chant my name? And another said, no, Lord, how can I do that? I was so absorbed. I was so concentrated with the pot. I didn't remember to chant your name. And Krishna said, is that so? Why? And Narada said, but this was service to you. You asked me to do this service, so I was absorbed in the service to you. So if I don't chant your name, what is the big deal? And Krishna said, oh, okay. Okay, now let's take a trip to the earth planet. So they came to the earth planet, and Krishna said, you see, watch that old man, this old farmer who was like, it was even difficult for him to even stand, but he was struggling. And as he's clearing the field, whatever stroke of uh, machete he used to clear the wheat, every stroke, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Throughout the day, Krishna and Nandamuni was watching this old man. And every step he takes, even though he was fully busy working on the field, but every step he takes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And Krishna said, you see, this old man, he is also engaged in my service. Like I engage you in my service, not to drop the oil. But you were fully absorbed in my service that you forgot to chant my name. But this old man, he's fully absorbed in rendering service. This is the job I've given to him on this earth planet. His prescribed duty is to farm. But whilst he's doing his prescribed duty, he never forgot me. So that should be the mentality of the devotee. We should fully be absorbed in doing the service, but we should at the same time simultaneously be thinking of Krishna, chanting the names of Krishna whilst we do our service. And that's why there's a saying that if you have in my language, in my home country, there's a saying that if you have 10 farms, you work in all of the farms at the same time, right? You don't say, oh, this farm is more special than the other one, so I'll work here, I will not work there. No, you work in all your whole farms. So similarly, no matter how much you are engaged in doing the service to the Lord, you shouldn't forget by absorbing yourself in the holy name of the Lord as well. That is the way we can make a headway. And we should never pride ourselves that, oh, I've done so much, I'm such a wonderful devotee. Because if you start thinking like that, then you'll be falling problem for yourself. Why? Because you'll be asking Krishna, now I'm properly situated. So you can bring your Maya. And now I will defeat that Maya because I'm properly situated. So never think like that. So there's another story when Narada Muni approached Krishna and said, hey, I've heard so much about your Maya. How does Maya work? And Krishna said, no, you don't want to try it. No, Narada, no. He said, no, I'm your devotee. I'm your pure devotee. I just want to know your external energy, how it works. And Krishna said, okay, no problem. But before you see how my external energy works, I'm very thirsty and I need a cup of water. So go to the nearby village and get me a cup of water. Because he had brought Narada Muni back on earth. Go to the nearby village and get me a cup of water. So Narada said, sure. So Narada was walking on the fields. It was hot. The sun was so hot. So after walking for a little bit distance, he himself began to feel thirsty, really, really thirsty. So Narada began to think, oh, when I get there, I'll get 2 cups of water. Then I'll take one and send the other one to Krishna. Huh? So Narada continued. Finally, he reached a house, and there was this beautiful lady at the well trying to fetch water. And Narada said, beautiful lady, can I get a cup of water? And the lady said, sure. Immediately Narada heard the voice of the lady. He forgot everything. He forgot that he has been sent by Krishna. And he said, you are so beautiful. Who are your parents? I want to get married to you. The girl said, sure. The girl took Narada Muni to his parents. And they were married. So Narada started living a household life. He was so absorbed in his household life. They had children. He had grandchildren. He was cultivating the fields. He had so much money. He was swimming in opulence. So Narada was so absorbed, enjoying her household life. Then one day, there was a devastating flood. It rained so much, and there was so much flood. Everything was getting flooded. Now Narada Muni wanted to protect his family, his children and grandchildren, and the wife. So their house began to get flooded. So they were standing on tables, and the flood was coming up. So finally, they had to climb the roof of the building. The flood was coming. By the time he realized his children were gone, the flood was taking the children. It was taking. Now, finally, the flood took the wife. It was left with him alone. And he was right at the peak of the building. Finally, the flood got up to him. And what did he do? He was trying to swim. As he was struggling to swim in the water, then he started shouting, oh, Krishna, please save me. Krishna, I'm in trouble. Save me, Krishna, Krishna. As Narada Muni was shouting for help, because he was in that deep distress, having lost everything. The calling of Krishna was deeply from his heart. Dear Lord Krishna, save me, the Lord. And then Krishna was also calling his name, Narada, where is my water? Where is my water? So then he immediately came to realization. And Krishna said, where is my water? Where's my cup of water? He has completely forgotten about the cup of water he was going to grab for Krishna. This is a split second. Just a moment with Krishna. You know how moment works. Like even the time of Brahma. Brahma lives for 100 years, right? And 100 of Brahma's years, when it is translated into our years on earth, is 311 trillion, 40 million earth years. 311 trillion, 40 million years for us. That is 100 years of Brahma. But that 100 years of Brahma is half breath of Lord Vishnu, half breath. Because when Lord Vishnu breathes out, Brahma is born. When he breathes in, Brahma dies. So half breath of Lord Vishnu, when it's translated to our time, is 311 trillion. So all this process that Krishna took Narada Muni through the covering of Maya, it was just a moment. But whilst Narada was absorbed in that consciousness, it was a whole lifetime. Getting wife, children, grandchildren, and having gotten so much money. So that this is the power of Maya. And that's why Prabhupada is forewarns us that if you are not scared of Maya enough, then you are in big trouble. Because we can be so bewildered by the external energy of the Lord, to the extent that even thinking whatever we are doing, we are in good position. And that's why you shouldn't pride yourself. Otherwise, you think you are in good position, but you can easily fall. And that's why in the book of Corinthians, 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12, he says that he who thinks he is standing, he should be careful that he doesn't fall. If you think you are standing, be careful that you don't fall. We are always forewarned to be very scared of Maya, because the tricks of Maya is so bewildering and so powerful. Even Lord Shiva, when he also asked Krishna about Maya, if you know the story, Lord Shiva became so bewildered by the Mohini Murti that Shiva himself completely forgot about Parvati. Look, the link between Shiva and Parvati. But when Shiva asked Krishna about the tricks of Maya, and Krishna wanted to show him, and he manifested the Mohini form, Shiva completely forgot about Parvati. So we shouldn't under any circumstance try to pride ourselves that we are properly situated. Because, I mean, practically speaking, if let's say you are a devotee, and you are thinking, oh, I have controlled myself. Now I'll never be interested in any woman. Now I've chanted enough Maha Mantra that I think I'm in full control of my senses. Okay. Then Maya will say, okay, let's see if you are really in good standing. So you are the manager of a company. Then a lady comes to your office to apply for a job, because you are thinking you are in full control of yourself, right? So the lady sits right in front of you. You look at the beauty of the lady and, yeah, how can I help you? By the time you realize, the lady has raised one of her legs and put it on the chair, and you might be seeing her undies. Then things start working in your head. Things start working in your head. Huh. Yeah, okay. What did you say your name is? Now, if even she says her name, you will forget the name 10 times. Huh? What do you say your name is? Why? Because your mind is elsewhere. You are absorbed in looking at different things, right? By the time you realize, you forget that you even have a wife at home. So never try to test Maya. Because if Maya brings these tricks to you, you are doomed. And that's why we should always hold on tight to the dhoti of our Guru Maharaj and Krishna. Because they are the only people who can save us. Right? There is this young lady who went to the store. She went for window shopping. Just window shopping. Because she didn't have the money. But prior to that, this young man has been trying to hit on her. And the lady said, no, 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 no. I'm a Christian. I don't do that. No, 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 no. Please, please, leave me alone. But this lady went for window shopping, looking through. Oh, this is a nice dress. Blah, blah. And she saw a particular dress that caught her eye. Some yellowish dress. Beautiful. And immediately she developed love for the dress. But she looked at the price and she can't afford it. And she knows that the husband can also not afford that dress because that dress was really expensive. What can I do? So this lady, she left the store and was going back home. But somehow or the other, he met this guy who has been making passes on her. And the guy said, "Oh, are you still thinking about what I've been proposing to you?" The lady said, "No, no, 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 don't do that. I'm a Christian." And the guy said, "I saw you coming out of one store over there. Whatever you need, I'm ready to buy it for you. I'm ready." Immediately the guy said like that, something started clicking in the lady's head. Wow, that yellow dress. At that moment, lady did not remember the devil, or Maya. No, no, no. Nothing came to the head that this is Maya. No. What came to mind is the dress, the yellow, beautiful dress. Oh yeah, I saw one yellow dress in that store. I want, but I can't afford it. The guy said, "No problem. Come on, I'll get it for you." They went to the store. The guy buys the dress for her. "Oh, thank you very much. Oh my God, please, thank you very much. I really appreciate this." The guy said, "No problem. That's what I've been telling you. Once you say yes to me, more of this will come." All this time, the lady did not see the devil. He did not see Maya. After all, this guy is very nice. So somehow or the other, something started clicking in the heart and his mind and her mind. Finally, she accepts to be with the guy, cheating on the husband. It went on for a while until the day that the husband caught them together. And that very day, what happens? That is the day that the lady saw the devil, because he told the husband, "Oh, please forgive me. This is all the work of the devil. Please, this is Maya." And that's why Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita 262, whilst contemplating on the object of the senses. So when you go to the store, whilst contemplating on the yellow, beautiful dress, the person develops attachment. Whilst contemplating on it, you develop attachment for the dress. And when attachment is developed, what comes? Lust. You become so lusty for this dress that it doesn't care what it takes you to get the dress. And when you become that lusty, then what? Your memory becomes bewildered because you don't think straight no more. And that's why, as a devotee, we have to be extremely careful. Why we don't have to be contemplating on the object of the senses. Because if you are contemplating on the object of the senses, Prabhupada has given us the antidote to that. Immediately that bad idea comes to your head. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just try as much as you can to absorb yourself in the chanting of the holy name, and that name will smash the contemplation in your head. But if you don't do that and you still continue contemplating on the object of the sense, my friend, you're going to go down. Because immediately the lust generates in your heart, you are finished. So, right from the beginning, you should kill this all-devouring enemy called lust. That is why Krishna says, right from the beginning, you should kill this devouring enemy of the heart. And so we are so fortunate that we have been given this process. There are so many things to talk about, but I will leave here because we only have 15 minutes left. Unless the people on the altar tells us that we still can go on for a little bit. So I'll leave here. I'll stop here and I'll open the floor for any questions, comments, chastisements. Everything is accepted here now. So if there are any questions or comments, please, those online, show by the hand emoji. and unmute yourself and ask your question. And those in here, you can, if you have any question, you can just bring your question. Hare Krishna. Yeah, James. James has raised the hand. James, yes, go ahead. Let's hear what you have.
Hi, Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Can you hear me?
Krishna. You all can hear him. Right? Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you for the very, very nice class. My question was regarding the Narada Muni pastime. Is this pastime from Chaitanya Charitamrita or is it from Bhagavatam? I remember hearing it, but I don't remember exactly where it's from.
No, these pastimes are, well, it might be fun. I did not read it from the Chaitanya. I read it from the Vishnu Purana.
Vishnu Purana. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you see all these stories that we hear in Bhagavatam, and they also have backstories. So usually, if you get to the backstories, you hear a lot of things, and it will make the story that you are reading become more like understanding. If usually you listen to the backstories, they are very important because they give you a true understanding of what is happening. It's like the story of um, Arjuna's son on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. What is the name of Arjuna's son? Abhimanyu. Why Abhimanyu died so early in his life? You can only understand it when you hear the backstory, because Abhimanyu is the son of the moon god, and he was they particularly approach uh, the moon god that he should spare them their son, and he said, no, 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 I can't do that. Okay, finally, after they begged for a long time, he decided, okay, I can spare him for 16 years. And they said, that's okay. And so during the Battle of Kurukshetra, Abhimanyu was already 16 years. So he has to leave. And he has to live in a very, like, uh, what do we call it? Uh, Exalted way, right? Because one person, one small boy, one little boy, 16-year-old boy, he was able to defeat all the Maharatis, Dronachaya, Anna, Drodana, all these Maharatis, they were all surrounded around him. And they were fighting him. Anyone who fought him single, one-on-one, he defeated the person. So when they saw how powerful this boy was fighting, then they decided to attack him all at once, which was against the rules of war. So they broke the rules of war. But it was so arranged that as Abhimanyu would live. And that is where Krishna had to teach Arjuna a great lesson. Because when Abhimanyu left like that, Arjuna was so bewildered that he was making vows that he could not even fulfill. because because he saw, oh my God. So it was that Jayadrat who stopped my brothers to protect my son. I vow that tomorrow, before sunset, if I don't kill Jayadrat, I'm going to enter fire. Krishna said, you are stupid. Why did you make that vow? Do you know who Jayadratha is? But he had already made the vow, and you know Kshatriyas. I don't want to bore you with all these stories. So any other question? So James, are you okay with the question? Who is JD?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Uh, Somebody's hand is up. That's what I'm trying to do. Whose hand is up? Please, you may unmute and let's hear you. Is that James' hand? JDD? No, that is JDD is different. Who is JDD? Please unmute. Okay. Maybe the person is not hearing. Okay. Anybody here? You have anybody? Does anybody have a question or something? Let's see it.
I do have a question. I just want to thank you so much for this class. It's quite rare that we get such a realistic lectures in a sense that
They always want to hear. The people online want to hear. So please.
I'm just saying that I want to thank you very much for the class. It was a very powerful class, a reminder of how strong Maya is, but also you kept it so realistic, and not often we hear classes like that. And so this is important, and I know that like in early days, at least when I was in my early days of Krishna consciousness, and my husband too, this type of classes were very often presented, and I think it's important to remind ourselves, because even although we are here in this beautiful community, we are not exempted from Maya's temptation. They are still here, and the point that you make, that as soon as we start to feel that we are strong and we are properly situated, the Maya will challenge us, and when Maya comes, it's like we are just so helpless for Krishna. But actually, I also have a question, because um, the beginning of your class, I felt like you spoke directly to me because I have tendency to absorb myself in service so much, and then one time my husband asked me to like, but what are you thinking when you are doing all the services? Are you remembering Krishna? Do you remember Radha Damodar? Do you remember how they were dressed and like and they pastime? And I said, that's not the case always. So like what advice would you give to because from one sense doing something nicely, it requires attention, right? So if we're absorbing certain tasks, we need to put certain skill set into it and attention. So what advice would you give to at the same time, like remember to chant and remember Krishna?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So you all heard Krishna Mahi's question? Yeah. I mean, what we should understand that whenever we are doing any service, it's like last week I gave an example that if you have a fight with your wife or your husband, huh, and you go to work, you will be absorbed in doing your work all right at your work, but behind your head, at the back of your mind, the fight that you had in the morning will be lingering in the head. So you'll be busily working on it, but at the back of your mind, you will still be thinking, why did we fight? What happened? What went wrong? So that is how Krishna consciousness should be. Whenever, even though you are absorbed in doing your service, but at the back of your mind, something must be lingering there. Why am I doing this service? Who is it for? Krishna or Guru. Once you have that thing at the back of your mind, then your service, the purpose of your service is achieved. But immediately something begin to linger at the back of your mind. Everybody will see that I have really done a lot of service today. Actually, I'm good. Immediately you begin to think that you have switched us. Now it's no more devotional service, it's self-centered service. You are thinking about yourself. And that's why exactly what Krishna was trying to tell Arjuna. Perform your duty, but do not think about the resource. It's not for you. The resource is mine. Just do your service. So at the back of your mind, it should be lingering that this service doesn't belong to me. This service belongs to Guru and Krishna. And whatever resource it is for them, not me. And if you think like that, then if there is good resource, they will take it. If there's bad resource, they will take it. Because you were doing it fully absorbed in them. But immediately you bring yourself at the back of your mind, then if there's good resource, Krishna will give it to you. If there is bad resource, Krishna will give it to you. And that's why you don't want in your life. And that is why I say, if you perform devotional service, the resource is transcendental because it's above good and bad resource. But immediately you put yourself as the center of activity, then the good and bad results will come to you direct. It becomes karma kanda. It's no more devotional service. That is the difference. Our consciousness is always the difference. It's not the act. We can arrange a lot of things. We can perform a lot of acts. But what is our motive? The motive determines whether it's devotional service or it's karma kanda. So our motives are very important. Very, very, very important when we are performing our devotional activities. Our motives are very important. You see, when we are prepared, like during Sadhana Bhakti, we are told to chant 16 rounds, right? We are told to follow 4 regulative principles. What makes you think that if you follow 4 regulative principles, what makes you think it's so it is so like you've done something very extraordinary? No, it's like a Christian. They have the 10 commandments. If you follow the 10 commandments, you have not done anything extraordinary. You are just living. You are now living as a human being, because only a human being will not be envious of his brother's things. It's only a human being who will not kill his brother, right? It's only a human being who will not be disrespectful to his elders. It's only a human being, because if you go to cats and dogs, the family of animals, you give this big bone to one dog and you give another small bone to a smaller dog, the big dog will still be envious of the smaller bone. That is not human life. So if you are thinking like that as a human being, you are envious of another's property, then you are not a human being yet. So you have to be trained to become a human being before we start teaching you about God. Because if you are not a human, how can you understand about God? So we follow 4 regulative principles to become humans. That's why what is so special about the monkey? The monkey is a vegetarian. So if you are a vegetarian too, what is so special? Huh? What is so special? If you stop taking alcohol, what is so special about it? If you abstain from sex life, what is so special about it? The lion, he has sex once a year. So if you abstain from sex for 1 month, 2 months, what is so special about it? But these things are there to train us to become humans. And once we become human beings, then we can understand God. And that's why we chant. So becoming a human being, then we absorb ourselves in the chanting of the holy names of God. Right? And so that is all in all good settings. Like biblically, in the Garden of Eden, when they were living like humans, they were vegetarians, because human beings are supposed to, that makes you a human. They were vegetarians. So when the animalistic tendencies began to flow in them, that is where meat eating and everything came in their lives, right? In the perfect setting of God, even biblically, in every person, in the Quran, in the Bible, every perfect setting of God, through humans live in that setting. And that's why Isaiah was propagating that in Isaiah chapter 11 from verse 4 to 9. He was saying that in the perfect descent of the true existence of God, the lion shall eat straw like the ox. Even the lion becomes a vegetarian in that perfect setting, right? And the human, he said that the wolf shall lie peacefully with the sheep, and the human shall lead them. In that perfect setting, everybody is a vegetarian, even the lion. He doesn't want to eat meat. So being in that mindset is not the qualification by itself. It only makes us a human being. So why are you priding yourself? Oh, I'm such a big devotee. I follow 4 regulative principles. I'm wonderful brahmachari. No illicit sex. No, nothing. I'm wonderful. What is so wonderful about that? When the lion has sex once a year. Whole year. One. So these things are there to help us develop the deeper consciousness to become humans. And once we are humans, then if you tell you are not this body, then you begin to ask questions. Oh, okay, yeah. What's my duty on earth? What am I here for? Huh? I think we still have a couple of minutes because the altar is not done yet. So we can still allow if there's any question. So we should become humans. We should stay humans. Then we can understand God. Huh? Because other than that, how can we understand God? Spiritually, we are not different from the animals. Bhagavad Gita tells us, right? We are not different from the animals. The Bible tells us we are not different from the animals. In Ecclesiastes chapter 19, chapter 3, Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 19 to 20. He says the fate of man and the fate of animals is equal. They are all from the dust. They go back to the dust. And they have one spirit. Nobody can say that the spirit of man goes up, but that of animal goes down. They all go to one place. So what makes you so pride yourself? I'm a devotee of the Lord. Yes, if you are a devotee of the Lord, that is wonderful. But you should understand that you are being a devotee of the Lord because of the mercy of Guru and Krishna. So you should always be thanking them to keep you as devotees, as a devotee. You ask for their blessings. The association of devotees, very important. Huh? You see people doing stuff and it inspires you to also continue to do what you are doing. Association is very important. And we should associate with the proper mindset. We should associate to see ourselves that there is something we want to learn from this devotee, right? We shouldn't associate with the mindset that I'm good and everybody should look up to me. Yeah? All right? Do I make sense? Thank you. Santaram Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Radha Damodara Ki Jai.
Since it's
Hare Krishna.
since it's a festival day, I think the altar might not open until 8:30. And Gary
So
Krishna Prabhu has his hand up.
we have up to 8:30. So you want us to continue?
Yeah, I think Agari Krishna Prabhu has his hand up.
Who?
Agari Krishna Prabhu.
Oh, Agari. Okay, I'm not seeing it here because you see, I'm not a computer person. Always, I want them to set this thing up for me. They should set it up so that I can see the full screen. Yeah. So Agari Krishna, please, let's hear your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you so much for that enlightening class. So my question relates to Mother Sita becoming attracted to the golden deer, which really was Maricha, the mystic, that he took that form. So how is it that, and we can also see in, yes, is it the Brahma Vimohana Lila, where Krishna took on the forms of the Vishnu, the cowherd boys and the calves, and Balaram couldn't actually see that it was Krishna. And so that was Krishna's, not his external energy, but his internal yoga maya. And so he couldn't actually see. So did a similar thing happen with Mother Sita where she couldn't see that this golden deer was in fact just Maricha, whereas Lakshmana could actually see that, no, this isn't a real creature.
Yeah, Krishna and his immediate consort, they can never be bewildered by Mahamaya. It's like you asking me when there is a drama in the temple room and Kaswarup becomes Krishna in that drama. And then you are telling me that Agari Krishna, so Agari Krishna, didn't you realize that Kaswarup is not Krishna? You know, you know definitely that Kaswarup is not Krishna. But so far as that drama is concerned, you should consider him as Krishna, right? Because if you don't consider Swarup as Krishna in that drama, then you will lose the purpose, you will lose the purport of that drama, right? So similarly, when Krishna is performing his pastimes, that is how the Yoga Maya does. Huh? He sets up the drama stage. So it looks like Sita is bewildered by the deer, right? Sita didn't know that this is not a real deer. No, because it is a stage of performance. And Krishna builds up this stage to teach us a lesson. That all that glitters is not gold. That is why Krishna wants to tell us that all that glitters is not gold. So if somebody a beautiful deer appears, then you have to be very careful. It's not that Sita was bewildered. Sita can never be bewildered. But it was Yoga Maya that set up the stage for these things to happen. All right? Do I answer?
So, sorry, Prabhu, as of
Mhm.
yeah, you did. You answered. So my follow-up question is the examples you raised about different devotees, Shiva, Narada Muni becoming bewildered. It's even though like yeah, they're very close to the Lord. So like we worship Narada Muni as Shiva's Thakur when we worship the Panchatattva as you know the devotional energy of the Lord. So and Shiva as well, he's Shambhu as well. So very close to the Lord, but still they got bewildered by the external
No,
energy
no,
of the
no.
Lord.
That's what I'm
So
telling you.
is
It's
it
a
that
stage. It's a stage. That stage, Krishna formed
okay?
that stage to teach me and you a lesson.
Okay.
That look at an exalted person like Narada, Maya. If Krishna can use the Maya to cover somebody like Narada, then what about me and you? So
Okay.
it's a stage. It's a stage that Krishna set up to teach us a lesson. It's not that Narada became bewildered, right? And it's not that Shambhu, Shiva became bewildered by Mohini Muti. But Krishna wants to tell us that if an exalted person like Shiva can do this, right? But that one is a stage. That is a drama that has been staged to teach us a lesson.
So
Am I
how do
being clear?
you how there yeah, you're making sense. So then how does the Mayavadi conception come into play and how do you disprove it where they say, well, we're also qualitatively one with Krishna and we are Brahmin, we were just bewildered. So it's part of the stage. It's part of the pastimes of Narayan, and it's just a question of realizing that I'm actually one with Narayan. So how do you counter that conception?
Yeah, it's like let me see. If you are in a dream, if you are in a dream and there is a lion pursuing you in the dream, hmm, is it reality that the lion is going to kill you? Ah, but as long as you remain in the dream, you will be sweating, huh? You'll be shouting, you'll be calling for help. When is it that you become relieved? You only become relieved from the pursuit of the lion when you wake up from your sleep. Then you realize, oh, there is no lion. So that is the nature of this material world. As long as we remain materially conscious, then everything that is happening to us is real because we are dreaming and we are sleeping. We want to remain in that dream. So everything that is happening to us will be real as long as we remain in this dream. But immediately we wake up from our dream, then we see, oh, this is. So that is the reason, like the pure devotees, they come here to teach us how to wake up from this dream. So Srila Prabhupada was here. Prabhupada went to America. And for the first one month or so, every day Prabhupada would go back to the shipping agent and ask the shipping agent, is there any ship going back to India? I don't think I can do this. Huh? Is it 3 times or four? They say 3 or 4, 5 times. Prabhupada went to the shipping agent that he wanted to go back to India because it's so difficult in America. He doesn't think he can make it. Huh? Do you think Prabhupada was bewildered? He was doing it because Krishna has set that stage for his pure devotee to teach us that when we start the path of devotional life, we are going to get bewildered, but we shouldn't let that one word sway us from our goal. So Prabhupada went there a couple of times, but eventually he established ISKCON. So when it happens to you, the same thing. And so Krishna set another stage, the life of Narada Muni. Was it Narada Muni? Yeah. Krishna appeared to him, and Krishna said, I'm appearing to you this lifetime, but you will not see me again until later. So now strive and get me back. He appeared in the initial stages to give you hope. So similarly, when you become a devotee, Krishna appears in the initial stages of your devotional life. Krishna appears to you, not physically, but mentally. Krishna appears to you by the enthusiasm he gives you. When you become a new devotee, you are so enthusiastic. You want to do everything. Oh, Prabhu, can I help you do this? Oh, Prabhu, can I do it? Can I clean the temple room? You are so enthusiastic. Then gradually, as you stay in the thing, Krishna withdraws himself. And he says, okay, now you should strive and get me back. And so at a certain point in your devotional life, things become so dry. You are thinking, oh, this is too much. Dhruva is so much moderation. He will ask me to do this, that. Why? Well, I'm one person. Why? Dhruva is so much of a pain. That is when you need help. And where do you get the help? The association of other devotees. Their help is what you will need to motivate you. And the same thing applied in the life of Jesus. When Jesus was carrying the cross, in the beginning, he was very strong, carrying the cross. When they beat him and he falls down, he woke up carrying the cross until he came to a point. He was so weak, he couldn't carry the cross again. But the Lord didn't leave him like that. He sent him Simon, and Simon came and helped him carry the cross. And after carrying the cross for a little bit, he gave the cross back to Jesus. And this time, he had gathered enough strength, so he carried it to Gethsemane for his glory. So similarly, in your devotional life, in the beginning, you are so enthusiastic. Why? Because Krishna makes himself available, manifest in your heart. So that's why you are so enthusiastic. Then in the middle, Krishna withdraws himself, and that is where the dryness comes. That is where it's so difficult to do everything. Even to chant 16 rounds becomes a problem. Prabhu, you are burdening me with too much things. I can't even chant 16 rounds. Prabhu, why? Why this? You have to be lenient with me. You have to give me a day off. But if you keep the association of devotees, gradually, the enthusiasm you had in the beginning will gradually be coming up. You're getting it back. Gradual. By this time, it comes gradually. And when it comes gradual, in the gradual process, anywhere level you reach stays, becomes permanent. It stays. And so there come a time you so absorbed in Krishna that you don't even care if you take risk for Krishna, because you have come to the platform where you have developed so much faith that you know Krishna will be there for you. When you come to that platform, nothing can turn you around, because you have developed so much faith that you know you can fully rely on Krishna. Do I make sense, Agari? Are you there, Agari Krishna?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, I'm hearing. So basically, even if one can make the Mayavadi mistake that because I'm qualitatively one with Krishna, that means that I'm also qualitatively one with Narada, Lord Shiva, all these great devotees that ask the Lord to show his external energy. It's not that the Lord is now creating a stage for me. Like I'm actually in Maya, and that conception gets defeated by the association of devotees. So the Mayavadi's conception persists because they don't have the association of devotees. But then the devotees, their Maya doesn't persist because they're actually in the association of devotees. Is that,
And
am I
and when the
understanding you correctly?
Mayavadis' eyes open, when the Mayavadis wake up from their true dream, then they will realize that Krishna is still Bhagavan Swayam. And they can only get that full realization in the association of devotees. All right? You can
Thank you so
go to
much,
the
Prabhu.
bookstore and get all the books to be a medical doctor. You read all the books. You know all the tricks of being a medical doctor. But you can never be accepted as a medical doctor unless you get the association of medical doctors, right? And they train you and they teach you and they give you a certificate. Then you become a real true medical doctor, right? So the Mayavadi is the one who has bought the books. He has read the books. He has realized that I'm not this body, but he doesn't have the certificate because he hasn't gotten the association of the true devotee of the Lord. So the true devotee of the Lord has not given him the certificate. And because he doesn't have that certificate, he's not qualified to be called a doctor. He's not qualified to go into the Vaikuntha planet where you practice the real medicine, right? The real interaction with Guru and with the Krishna. So he remains in Brahmajyoti because he has only read the books. He has the idea, but he doesn't have the experience. So devotees, we are being given first, we are given the idea, and then we are also given the experience by dint of the mercy of Guru and Krishna. And once we practice, it's like, why do you think we are all here in Gita Nagari trying to interact with each other? Because in the spiritual world, there's interaction. There is association in the spiritual world. And that's why we are being trained here to develop that association. So once we develop that association, then we can be accepted into the actual realm of association. If we don't practice it here, we will not be qualified to go to the actual system, right? So this is the field. This is the training field for us to develop the real association, interaction in association, it's associating with each other. Okay? The Mayavadi is not even making any effort to learn how to associate with each other, right? Because he's thinking, I'm God. So if you can develop to become God, then you can as well develop to become higher than God, isn't it? If you can gradually develop from one stage and eventually become God, then one day you may be advancing and become more than God, isn't it? So you can never advance to become God. You can advance at best to become a perfect servant of God. Because the hand, when the hand is severed from the body, the hand is useless. But the hand becomes important as long as it's attached to the body. And the hand cannot say that now that I'm attached to the body, I am the body. So if the stomach doesn't give the hand some food, how can the hand survive? So the fact that the hand is attached to the body doesn't make the entire body. Okay, you are just a branch of the body, and your survival depends on how you are being fed by the stomach. So Krishna is the complete whole, and then he nourishes the branches. So the Mayavadi philosophy is telling you that one day the hand will become the entire body. Does it make sense? One day the leg will become the entire body. So you can eat with your leg. One day you can eat with your ears. So the Mayavadi philosophy is very bewildering. And in this world, because we don't want to surrender, because we don't want to submit ourselves to anything. That is why the Mayavadi philosophy is very appealing in this world. It's very, very appealing because I become the master. I'm advancing. One day I'll become the boss. I'll become the master. I'll become God. It's very appealing to people. But Krishna said, no, 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 no. I'll send my pure devotee. He will come and teach you how to become a perfect servant. And once you become a perfect servant, then you are like the cup of seawater I was talking about. If cup of seawater, then when you are put into the sea, then you can carry ships around, right? Based on the mercy of the complete sea. Other than that, left by yourself, there is nothing that you can do by yourself. The cup of seawater can never carry ship. The cup of seawater can never contain whale. Am I making sense?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that
Thank you.
luxurious answer.
Ghana Vasala,
I have a
you
question
may.
for you. Thank you for all your
Mhm.
questions. May I ask my question? Thank you for
Mhm.
your answers. So in the purport, it says in Bhagavad Gita 2:45,
Mhm.
never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities. So somebody could take that and say, okay, I slapped someone across the face, but I'm not the cause of your pain. So I'm
You
sure
said
that's not
somebody
how
will
it.
say what?
Someone could slap
I'll
someone and say, I'm not the cause of your pain because I'm not the cause of the results of my activities. Because you never consider yourself the
okay.
cause of the results of your activities. So can you refute that?
Somebody, you said somebody slaps you and he says, I'm not the cause of your pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a similar verse that is well explained in the Bible, Matthew chapter 18, verse 7. He says, woe unto the world because of sin. Whether you like it or not, the sin will come. But woe unto you who allow yourself through where the sin comes. Right? So there is Swarup's karma says that he has to be slapped exactly at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. According to his karma, he needs to get a dirty slap at 9 a.m. So whether he likes it or not, the slap will come at 9 a.m. But meanwhile, Jana Vasala is also thinking that today I'm so angry. If anybody disturbs me, I'll give the person a dirty slap. So immediately you entertain that desire, then nature will arrange 2 minutes to 9. Nature will arrange for Jana Vasala to come to the temple room, and Kal Swarup will be going out of the temple room, and they crash where the curtain is. And because Jana, you have been entertaining the desire to slap anybody who disturbs you, and Kal Swarup's karma is saying that he has to be slapped at 9 o'clock. So you crash exactly at 2 seconds to 9. You in the curtain, you slap Kal Swarup. He has fulfilled his karma, and you have fulfilled your desire. But because your desire was a bad desire, you have also accumulated a karma to come and suffer. And that is why you don't have to entertain the bad desire. And so the whole process of Krishna consciousness is teaching us how not to entertain bad desires, entertain good desires, so that the reaction will be what? Will be transcendental. Huh? But when you slap Kal Swarup, and Kal Swarup is thinking that, why did this girl slap me? And he also slaps you back. He has also accumulated another karma. And that is why Jesus was telling his disciple, when the disciples asked Jesus, for how many times should we forgive our brother? He says 77 times 7. That is how many times you should forgive your brother. Why did he say that? Because if someone slaps me, I have fulfilled my karma. If I don't retaliate, I'm not sowing any more karma. My slate is wiped clean. But if I retaliate, I've sown another karma. This is the complexities of karma. So you cannot convince yourself that because I slap someone and you say, oh, Krishna says I shouldn't take the results for myself, then it is not my cause. I didn't cause it. Yes, you caused it because you desired it. And that is why desire is very important. Whatever you desire in this world is very, very crucial. And so the more you desire to be a devotee, then Krishna will help you to become a devotee. And that's why Krishna tells you that I'm in your heart. I'm in everyone's heart. From me comes what? Knowledge, remembrance, and what? Forgetfulness. If you desire to go and pocket, Krishna will give you the intelligence to pick the pocket. But when the resource is coming, he will not take it away. You will face it, right? Huh? And so, why do you have to desire to pick pockets? But if you desire to have Krishna, then Krishna says, then I'll give you the knowledge by which you can come to me. Perfect, right? So our desires are very important. This world is being controlled by those two things, desire and karma. And that's why Prabhupada has taught us the whole process of Krishna consciousness, how to desire properly. We desire properly. We desire things that doesn't have karmic reaction. And what are those things that when we desire it doesn't give us karmic reaction? To be our brother's keeper, right? Thinking that Shri Krishna Prabhupada says in his 4 principles of community living, that you should always think that the very people that you meet while you are climbing the steps up, they are the same people you meet when you are descending. Right? So when you are going, treat them nicely, so that when you are coming, they will treat you nicely. Huh? That is the principle of community living. So we should absorb ourselves in helping each other. And we help each other on the basis of Krishna, not on the basis of our what? Uh, 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 of our carnal mind, right? Otherwise, if you help someone on the basis of your carnal mind, then if you meet someone who likes smoking weed, if you give the person weed, the person will appreciate you so much. Does that mean you are being your brother's keeper? If you meet someone who is an alcoholic, once you donate alcohol to the person will be very appreciative. Oh, you are such a wonderful man. But are you being your brother's keeper? You are only being your brother's keeper when you give something that will let the person elevate the person's consciousness from this bodily plane. That is the true process of being your brother's keeper. Things that will help your brother to elevate the brother's consciousness from the material plane to the spiritual plane. And that's why we give people prashadam. That is being the true keepers of our brother. Give them prashadam. Give them the holy name. That is the true way to be our brother's keeper. Give them things that will help them. So if you help someone, that will attract. That's why when we are here as devotees, we shouldn't do things to scare people away from devotional service. Because if you do anything that will scare somebody from devotional service, you become a killer of the soul. Asuya namate loka adina tasma vataha. Come stay pritya biga chante yoki chakma hanujana. Ishopanishad, mantra 3. He says, the killer of the soul, whoever you may be, must enter into the planets known as the wells of the faithless, full of darkness and ignorance. So don't become the killer of the soul by scaring somebody away from Krishna consciousness. No. Then you yourself, you are in big trouble. Dana, do I make sense?
Yes, that's very nice. That's making a lot of sense. So why is Krishna saying never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities? You help me understand why you can't just be like, I can do whatever I want, but we don't think like that. But
yeah, Krishna is saying, don't consider yourself to be the cause. Why? Because let me give you an example in the Mahabharata. Before they started the war, Krishna brought Arjuna in the middle of the war field, and he showed Arjuna a lot of things. And Arjuna was propounding so many philosophies. Then Krishna showed the universal form to Arjuna. In the universal form, Krishna had devoured everybody on the battlefield. Krishna had already killed everybody. And Krishna told Arjuna, all these people, I have already killed them. So in basically speaking, you are doing nothing. But because you are my devotee, I want to give the glory to you. And that's why I'm telling you, fight. The fighting you are fighting is just a stage. I've already killed them. What makes you think that can Arjuna ever face Bhishma Dev? Never. Arjuna doesn't have the prowess to face Bhishma Dev or Dronacharya. But why was Arjuna able to kill Bhishma Dev? Because Krishna has already killed him. And he's only using Arjuna as a tool for the world to glorify Arjuna. That is the way Krishna glorifies his devotees. So Krishna tells you, you are not the doer. I've already done it. But if you are my devotee, I'll give the glory to you. Right? So if you are going to preach to somebody, don't think that you are the person who is preaching. Who are you to preach? What do you know? Jana, tell me, what do you know? But
Nothing.
you going out there, your guru and Krishna, they have already done the preaching, but they want to use you as a tool so that they give the glory to you. So never think that you are the cause. No, you can never be the cause, right? Because you are so limited, so limited. When you are looking like this and somebody is doing something behind you, you cannot even see it. Your vision is so limited. Your understanding is so limited. So when you go out to even preach to people, you cannot even convince anybody. But Guru and Krishna, they use you as a tool. And because you open your heart for them to use you, they give you the glory. All right? Does it make sense? That statement that Krishna says, that never you consider yourself as the doer. Does it make sense?
That
Because
makes
Krishna
sense.
has already, Krishna has already done it. But
So
mhm,
never consider
go ahead.
yourself the cause of your activities and never consider yourself the doer are sort of saying the same thing.
Well, I didn't hear that question.
Never consider yourself the cause of the results of your activities and never consider yourself the doer. They're saying the same thing.
Yeah. Never consider yourself the doer. And because you can never be the cause of anything. Who are you to be the cause of anything? But you can be a tool to be used. And you can be a tool to be used positively or negatively. So don't allow yourself to be used negatively. That is the caution. Always open yourself to be used positively. So the whole process of sadhana bhakti is to teach us how to build our consciousness to the platform where Guru and Krishna can positively what? Use us. If you don't build yourself with that strength of mind, then Maya will use you negatively. Do I make sense?
Yes, perfect sense. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for these questions. And when you ask such wonderful questions, it helps us to open up our field of activity for us to understand that Prabhupada has been so magnanimous. Prabhupada has been so merciful to us. Oh my God. Prabhupada has been so merciful to us that every step in our life, we should be glorifying Guru and Prabhupada. Because without them, oh my goodness, where would we be? We'll be doing so many nonsense and be thinking that it's okay. Okay? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all very much. So, Jana, the 30 minutes is up. So, thank you very much. This time we are closing. Tantara Brikshima Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Thank you for giving us that 30 minutes more. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.